it has averted possible load shedding following threats of a shutdown of some power plants in the country.
Also, the ZAR Electoral Commission allays public fears about its integrity and logistical challenges with 12 days to Ghana's December 7 polls.
Plus, presidential candidates crisscross the country to shore up votes on the final leg of their campaigns. Welcome to a brand new week. This is News Central, and I'm Kemini Amano.
And I am Mawena Egbeta. The bulletin starts right now. This afternoon, the Electricity Company of Ghana says it has averted possible load shedding following threats of a shutdown of some power plants in the country. Many citizens have been on edge over unplanned power outages following the announcement by the independent power producers that as many as 3 producers were shutting down due to debts owed them. As at yesterday, parts of the country experienced intermittent outages despite assurances from ECG that no load shedding would take place. But acting managing director of ECG, David Asamoah, said has been expressing his sentiments, stating the fact clearly that there will be no doom. So now, according to him, forex losses continue to dominate challenges in offsetting debts owed the independent power producers. A bit more in what he's been telling the media from over the weekend as a result of the fears and the concerns in relation to a possible load shedding and what the Electricity Company of Ghana says has been attempts to avert that. Let's try and bring you details of exactly what he's been saying at this particular point in time. That's going to come up on your screen right about now, where the acting managing director of the Electricity Company of Ghana, Engineer David Asamoah, he says that the majority of the debts that they owe these independent power producers and its continuous hike is as a result of forex shortfall. Now, he says that each month, just from forex, they lose about 37 million. So if you get the money and pay, getting dollars becomes a problem. And sometimes they make payment and it takes days or weeks before these IPPs receive it because of the fact that they have to offset these debts in dollar denominations. And so they are at a losing battle, but they are doing all that they can to ensure that the lights stays on. But we also know that the Electricity Company of Ghana has been warning customers and providing them details as to buying credits worth a month if you're using a new meter due to planned system upgrades. Let's box these two issues together and seek to get an explanation from Charles Niayiku. He is with the Communications Directorate of the Electricity Company of Ghana. A bit more in terms of the clarity having to do with what they say is averting a possible load shedding. Let's try and connect with him and speak to him this hour. But if you're watching us at home and you're experiencing intermittent power outages, do well to share that with us. We're streaming this bulletin on Facebook. Leave a message. We'll try and get that message for you. But there's been that running theme of a crisis, really, in the offing with the country's energy sector. We know that Sunon Asogli shut down their plant over a $259 million debt. We also know that last week, the independent power producers, their CEO, Dr. Elikpli Mapetogbo, had been speaking and making reference to the fact that well over $200 million worth of debt was hanging over 3 power producers and were threatening to shut down as well. But the Electricity Company of Ghana seems to be of the opinion that they are now paying weekly these debts. I mentioned Charles Niayiku will join us. He's joined us via the phone. Let's try and get a bit more from him. Mr. Ayiku, many thanks for speaking to us this afternoon. Let's start off with the concerns of load shedding and what many people will know as doom returning this week because of 3 power producers shutting down their plants. Where are we in terms of settling these debts and averting this possible load shedding crisis on our hands?
Yeah, thank you very much for the call, and also a very good afternoon to our viewers. As explained by the managing director, everything is on course, and we are engaging with our IPP to make sure that the outages that were experienced over the weekend wouldn't continue. Yes, it's not just about systems being shut down by the IPPs, but of course, there are also intermittent system challenges that we face as a company. We have our plant maintenance schedules and other emergencies that we are also working on. So it's not just about the IPP that are having issues with ECG, but as indicated by the acting managing director,
right, we are
still in engagement with the IPPs, and we are very sure and hopeful that everything will fall in place.
I want to categorize the conversation. One has to do with plant maintenance. The other has to do with challenges with independent power producers. Let's start with plant maintenance. Of which of these power producers are billed for a plant maintenance in the coming weeks? Let's try and clear that before we go into the power producers where you're seeking to renegotiate debts and pay them off.
Okay, so I'm talking about, when we talk about the IPPs and ECG, it has already been indicated by the acting managing director that the expected outages in terms of what you call the doom flow will not happen. Right? And ECG is in engagement, consistent and constant engagement with the IPP. So everything is on course. I was talking about the other maintenance schedules that we have as a company,
right,
where we make sure that our systems are in place so that we can provide reliable power for our customers.
And so with the IPPs, we get the indication from your managing director that you're going to be making weekly payments now, despite the forex concerns, which you say continues to leave you in a place of debt?
Right. So at that level, as indicated by the managing director, talks are in place to make sure that these things are done. So at that level, yes, there's that engagement.
Mr. Ayiku, let's talk about these NURI meters and the admonishment to customers to top up for worth a month. Have you been able to help customers appreciate which category of meters in their house falls under the NURI meters? Because I'm standing here, I don't know which of your meters are labeled as NURI meters, which will guide whether or not I'm also supposed to be buying credit for up to a month.
Okay, so we are talking specifically about the NURI meters. NURI meters.
Which are the NURI meters? That's a question.
Okay, so it's a type of meter from ECG, right, that our customers are using as a measure of their consumption. So it's very easy to identify the NURI meters. You can find them inscribed on the meter. NURI inscribed on the meter. You can also use your receipt, your customer details, yes, where you find the meter number. And when you also call our customer service centers with your meter number, we'll be able to tell you if it's a NURI meter or not. So we are talking about NURI meters. And the rollover completed on the 24th of November. So customers who have not been able to upgrade, or will not be able to reach out to them to upgrade their meters, you kindly call the ECG contact center on our phone number 0302 611 611. 0302 611 611 to have their meters upgraded. It's newly meters. Right. Now, these two meters are in 3 specific regions: the Accra East, the Accra West, and the Tema regions. Fortunately, we've been able to upgrade all our meters within the Tema region. In fact, for Tema region, it was only from ground, and we've been able to do that. Accra East and Accra West, we have some few customers whose meters have not been upgraded, but we are urging them to get in touch with us for us to get them upgraded.
Right then, Mr. Aiku.
For some of our customers, we are not able to reach out to them because we are not available.
Right then.
We are still in the community as I speak to you.
Sure.
To make sure that as soon as you reach out to us, we get your details, then move to your premises to do the upgrade. Right
then, Mr. Aiku. We'll leave the conversation here. I'm sure we'll come back to you again in relation to these new meters and then the concerns with IPP debts and whether or not Dumso really has been averted for the next couple of weeks.
Well, we can now bring you stories from your election command center. Now, with 12 days to Ghana's December 7th polls, the Electoral Commission has moved to allay public fears about its integrity and logistical challenges. Deputy Commissioner in charge of Corporate Services, Dr. Bosman Asare, assured that the robust systems make tampering with results impossible, dismissing concerns over power outages or network challenges on election day.
We've added 2% across board to make up for any spoiled ballot, any excesses, etc. So in all, we did a little over 19 million. So in effect, for all constituencies, they are going to see an average addition of about 2 percentage points to the ballots. So we expect that the ballot papers are going to be enough, both the presidential and the parliamentary, for all the constituencies. All these sensitive materials are...
We apologize for the poor quality of video you just saw, but moving on to some other stories now. Will the opposition NDC be able to hold off the challenge from the NPP in the Yilo-Krobo constituency? Although traditionally one of the strongholds of the NDC, this year's elections in the constituency are proven to be highly competitive. Let's take a look at the story.
The Yilo-Krobo constituency in the 2020 elections, the NPP had over 44% in the parliamentary elections, while the NDC had over 55% as well in the parliamentary elections. A number of people have spoken on what will be informing them to vote in the December elections. Would the voting patterns change, or it will be same as it has been?
In Yilo-Krobo here, you know that for some time now, in fact, since the onset of this Fourth Republic, it has been NDC winning this seat. In fact, presidential too, it has been NDC. But not much has been done here. We are really lagging a lot. If you look at the market behind us here where we are, it's a typical example. You know, what the town people are saying is that we are changing. We are really changing the parliamentary. And this time around, we are hoping that Dr. Chum Berima will come on board because he's started with a lot of developmental plans for the constituency. And that is what most of us, the youth, we are looking at. He has begun getting most of our youth into various tertiary institutions. And so those are the things we are looking at. We are moving from the traditional way where we say, oh, we are Krobos and then we are for NDC and we must, our parents are for NDC, we must also toe that line. Things are changing.
Me personally, I will vote for the NDC because I have seen a number of things they have done for this constituency. And therefore, the hardship we are going through now, look at our roads in town, very deplorable one. So I believe the NDC has done a lot for this constituency, and therefore I will be voting for the NDC. The seat will not change because When we are talking of development, it is the Municipal Assembly who champion the development. And when you look at our constituency here, though the MPs has been won by the NDC, the chunk of the money, which is the 95% of the common fund, goes to the MCE for development.
The vote margins get closer by the voting year. We're told that probably a lot of things could change in this constituency come December 7th elections. Yvonne Inikwe, TV3, Somanya.
Now, youth of Patia community in the Talensi constituency of the Upper East region have threatened to boycott this year's elections and has also given government a week to upgrade and fix their CHIPS compound to a health center and the roads respectively. The youth who spoke with our Upper East region correspondent Tanko Mohammed Rabiu expressed worry on how successive governments have neglected the community, and they will resist any attempt to compel them to vote. We can now cross over and speak to Tanko Mohammed Rabiu for more on this story. Tanko, good afternoon to you. First, before we even talk about what the youth are saying and feeling, give us a sense of the concerns they have raised with regards to the roads and the CHIPS compound there. How bad are they?
Yeah, thank you very much, Temen. The mood in Patia yesterday, as at now, is that the youth are disappointed with the slow pace of development in the area. What they are saying is that they are not interested in any political party activity because of the nature and the status of the CHIPS compound, which has been there for 28 years and does not be upgraded. A lot of communities within and around the Patia community are using that facility. So what they are saying is that this is the right time for them to come and voice out their grievances, and they want the CHIPS compound to be upgraded into a health center for them.
Very well. Let's take a listen to these young people you've been talking to. They've been telling you really that they're unhappy about the state of affairs there. Let's take a listen now. Oh, once again, we apologize for the lack of audio on that clip you just saw. But we'll give it another try. Hopefully, this time it would be helpful. Let's take a listen to the youth of Patia.
At the time, people used to come here that they have skin diseases. It has worked over the years, but what we are facing now is that we wanted to upgrade it to a health center. The reasons are that most of our people, when they are sick, either they are taken to Bolga or Namualgo, which is very far from the community, especially pregnant women. When they are about to deliver, at times it's difficult carrying them all the way to Namualgo or taking them to Bolga. So upgrading this particular CHIPS compound to a health center will serve a lot of good to the community.
Youth of this community are actually very angry. They are just angry at because government comes and government goes, different parties comes and they goes. This CHIPS compound has been here for 28 good years now. No one has taken any step to upgrade it to a health center. And you know, we are facing several problems. Now, we are not going to talk much, but what we are going to say today is that we are just giving the stakeholders and those in charge that if by next week we've seen no sign or no indication that this CHIPS compound is going to be upgraded to a health center, who will boycott the elections or will not take part in 2024 general elections. Thank you.
Well, you heard some youth from Patia in the Talensi constituency. Earlier was Tanko Mohammed Rabiu, our Upper East region correspondent.
Well, staying with matters relating to politics, and President Akufo-Addo has described the NDC flag bearer John Mahama as an abysmal leader. According to him, John Mahama's failure to secure a second term is indicative of his failings as a president, hence Ghanaians not voting for him. The president has been speaking to professional bodies as part of his three-day tour of the Ashanti region.
Jerry Rawlings had a second term. John Ajekun Kufuor had a second term. Nana Dankwa Kufuor had a second term. The only one who was not given a second term was John Dramani Mahama. There's a reason for it. It was in the Jumano and saw Ghana for any and Nutini Aman Quite Ambebu. Then also Peso Baby. No better. What is he coming to do? 24-hour economy. You couldn't keep the lights on for 12 hours a day here, doing so time when you were president, and you're coming to give us a 24-hour economy. How are you going to do that? Please, don't let anybody be confused by these things.
That's the president speaking there. Ibrahim Abubakar is following the president on his 3-day tour of the Ashanti region. Let's touch base with him right now and get a mood of what the region is looking like. Ibrahim, talk to us about the president's tour and what he's been up to today.
Well, Mauna, the president has been cutting short for some health facilities in the Ashanti region. In fact, he is done cutting the sword for the 40-bed capacity hospital at Dobonso in the Sechiafram district of the Ashanti region. And he's moving to Sabrolum in the Afuano. Then he will come here at Chedia in the Achuma district before he will move to Bantima constituency and commission, a road project or a bridge at Atafua. And this bridge has been claiming lives for the past 4 years because anytime it rains, the entire place gets flooded. And these are the lineup of the activities he will be doing. Also commissioning the Swami 40-bed capacity hospital. But in all, the president has been engaging people, and he has been telling the Ashanti region to retain the new patriotic party if indeed they want to see most of these developmental projects that are yet to be completed complete, because in an event they do not vote for the NPP, they should be assured that almost all these projects will be left uncompleted. Let's listen to what the president has been saying.
People of Ashanti, please think very carefully for 7th of December. I am convinced that some people will come into office and they will stop a lot of these projects. The Agenda 1.1 is not in their heart. Those that are not finished will not be finished. We've seen it before. We've seen it before here in Ghana. Do not let us make that mistake this time.
Just behind you is the Chedia Government Hospital. Is that also set for commissioning a lot later when the president gets there, or that's an operational facility already?
No, he will be commissioning this part of the 10-key project, 40-bed capacity hospital. In fact, nationwide, 12 of these facilities have been constructed, and in Ashanti region, we have benefited from 5 of these projects. So these are the project is commissioning today. Almost all the all health facility or hospitals are in the same design. So Swami, Drobonso, Sabrolum, here at Chedia, and one also at Mansun Kwanta.
Right then, Ibrahim, thank you very much for those details. That's my colleague Ibrahim Abubakar in the Ashanti region for us, providing details as to the president's tour of the Ashanti region day 2, and quite a number of commissionings up on his agenda today. It will take us on to our very first break here on NewsCentral. When we return, a bit more stories for you. Please do stay.
Welcome back. It's 12 days to the general elections, and we are your election command center. We'll now take you to the Ashanti region, specifically the Asante-Achem North constituency, where political pundits have predicted a tough race. Our reporter Seth Amwako has been gauging the mood and joins us over Zoom for a bit more on some voter concerns that have been raised so far. Says, good afternoon to you. Asante-Achem looks quite interesting, the race we mean. How's the environment looking like with 12 days to the election? What would you say?
Welcome back to Asante-Achem North here. There's a lot of tensions over here at Asante-Achem North. Yeah, there are 3 candidates here at Asante-Achem North. Honorable Andrea is for the MPP chief, somewhere for the NDC. And one independent candidate called on Henry Kwame from home. 12 days to the elections, the environment looks tense with the independent candidate, who is from the district capital, Asante-Achem Agogo, putting on more pressure on the sitting MP.
Hello, sir. Did we lose you there?
Yes.
Oh, right. It looks like you're still there loud and clear. But I do want to talk about the voters themselves. What are you picking up from them? What are they saying to you?
The people are telling us that they will change from our constituency here because the city MP is not helping them quite the youth.
Very well said. I appreciate you talking to us. But what are the major concerns? What are the major issues that will be driving voters to the polls in Asante-Achem North?
The one who is leading the polls right now in Asante-Achem North is Henry Kwame. That is the independent candidate.
Right. I wasn't talking about the polls. I'm asking what are the issues that are top or most important for voters in the Asante-Achem North constituency?
Okay, madam. What they are saying is that they want job for the youth, and the roads are full of potholes, so they want a road.
I see. Seth, we'll leave it here. Thank you so much for the reporting. Seth Amwako is one of TV3's election volunteers. He reported right now from the Asante-Achem North constituency, where he tells us that it's a tight race between the incumbent and an independent candidate there. We'll turn attention now to the NDC presidential candidate. John Dramani Mahama has kicked off his Mahama for Change campaign in the Western region. With a packed itinerary, former President Mahama began engagements in the region with a courtesy call on the Western Regional House of Chiefs in Sekandi, where he sought the chiefs' blessings and support for his campaign. Now, the former president will also engage with religious leaders in the region, specifically at the Assemblies of God Church in Anaji. Now, this meeting is part of his efforts to reach out to various stakeholders and solicit their backing. We can speak to Komla Kluche. Komla Kluche is traveling with John Mahama. He joins us over the telephone. Komla, good afternoon to you. How many regions, Komla, has John Mahama been to, and how many more are we expecting him to go to?
Well, regions and 204 constituencies across the country. Been going around advocating for votes and telling the message of change to the people. We know that there are 16 regions. This inclusive, the Western region inclusive, will make it 15 regions that John Mahama has gone to so far, with 204 constituencies out of the 275. He has just a few days to be able to cover all of this. Then he might have to do a mop-up in 1 or 2 regions or 2 spots, and then he would finally be very much convinced that he's sought 100% target that he needs to himself. But even prior to this, don't forget, John Mahama has already done the building banner for where he's led people already. And so this is where he's been so far.
I see. When does he bring his campaign to an end? What does it look? Where would be the climax of all of this?
Well, information on that is not yet out, but it presupposes, because he's left do the Ashanti region proper. Ashanti region, probably by the close of this week, the team will be heading to the Ashanti region. Not sure the number of days John Mahama intends to do in the Ashanti region, but yes, it plays a critical role in terms of the vote he must get from the stronghold of the MPP. And so we do not have information on that yet. But in starting off with the Western Regional Tour, like we did say a short while ago, meeting with the Western Regional House of Chiefs, he's been speaking on a lot of issues. The economy topmost office has been speaking on it. The chiefs themselves have equally been expressing their dissatisfaction. I'm just hearing a short while ago from most of the chiefs here on the issue about the free SHS. Yes, it's a good thing. However, there's a need to have a review of it. The chiefs in the Western region are saying. But on the economy, John Mahama has been describing it in a very, very hot term. He says that the state of Ghana's economy is self-imposed, but it has been criminally supervised. Let's listen to John Mahama speaking a short while ago to the chiefs.
Enti me makase niesino, it's been a criminal supervision of the destruction of our economy, because as a nipane sheda enoye, because anyasi ankanchire no omampenyi de ni nua na akotena finance ministry ni oya na se obobosia na bosia obo no so ono ane bank data bank na ye broker enti bosia bia obekọ akọji bia onya ho mfaso eno abo ama ya bedru bebia ye dru.
John Mahama is the NDC flag bearer, and earlier was Komla Kluche, correspondent who's traveling with the NDC flag bearer.
We can still stay in the regions because the king of the Gonja kingdom, Yagbonra B. Kunotu Jeuswali II, or the first, I should say, has led a Quranic prayer in Damongo to seek the God's blessings and favor for a peaceful election come December. Dozens of Muslims, including traditional rulers and politicians in Gonjaland, converge at the Jakpa Palace to pray ahead of the crucial day. Speaking to the media after the Quranic recitation, spokesperson of the Yagbonra, Saka Bakari, to the Yagbonra says that they are praying for problem solving and, amongst other things, a peaceful election. Christopher Mwaku is my colleague who paid a visit to the area and was a part of the prayer session. Let's join him for a bit more details. Chris, tell us about this prayer as organized by the king and his intention, really.
Yes, so Marina, basically, according to the spokesperson of the Yagbonra, this prayer that was organized yesterday is to seek for God's blessings and favors upon the country, Ghana, especially as we inch closer to December 7th. And so the prayer is just to ask for the blessings of God on the country, Ghana, and to also get a peaceful election. He believes that the two main contenders, that is John Dramani Mahama and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, are all Northern brothers, and so their supporters should see it as such. And the election being considered as critical means that God's intervention is very paramount in this particular election. And so let's take a listen to what the spokesperson of the Yagbonra Chief
Chris, we'll hear from him shortly. We'll hear from him shortly. But we also understand that the chief imam of Buipe and the people in that area also invoked the spirit of the founder of Gonjaland to fight for John Mahama to win the elections. A bit curious. Talk to us about that.
Yes, so for the chief imam of Buipe and the Kagbepri clan in Buipe, who superintend over the tomb of Ndawura Dakpa, that is the spiritual leaders of Gonjaland, believe that since John Mahama is a Gonja, and so the founder of the Gonja kingdom, Sumaila Ndawura Dakpa, should protect him and grant him victory in this elections. According to them, this particular election is about their son, who is John Dramani Mahama. And so the gods of Gunjaland, the ancestors of Gunjaland, should protect him and grant him victory in this election. So that was why they went to the tomb of the founder of Gunjaland to pray and recite some Quranic versions back what they are asking for.
Let's listen.
It's a very short message. The Ola said, I don't know any other country. Ghana is all that we have. And there's an election or pending election where people are crisscrossing, people are preparing to do a lot of nasty things here and there. And he said, well, I don't even have a traveling passport. Why will I sit down if there's a need to use a Quran and talk to God that protects the natives? Every other person that will have any bad or evil intention should stay away from this part of the country. We have heard of a lot of countries suffering. He doesn't want that. And I'm saying he knows only Ghana. And so,
duly enthroned by your forefather, Ndeura Jakpa, today by the power of the Almighty God, who appointed you to lead Ghanaians again into prosperity, whereupon to build this nation in line with your quest to reset this nation on true Ghanaian values and principles. Although chiefs don't do politics in Ghana, we wish to assure His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and his well-meaning development partners that Kagbapeura and his elders have already enthroned you as the king of nations by the power vested in him by Sumaila Ndeura Jakpa, to be enthroning king, to be enthroning the latest grandchildren, including JDM, on which basis we have confidently declared you victorious in advance as far as the upcoming general elections are concerned. We accordingly petition all bona fide kingmakers across the country to do same on the basis of JDM's track record of trustworthiness and competence.
And that's Chris, the chief imam of Buipe, the reciting that statement or reading out that statement. But I appreciate the details as you've been providing there. Christopher Marco is my colleague in the northern and Savannah regions for us this afternoon. He will take us on to our second break here on News Central. We'll return with a bit more stories.
reconstructing their structures after fire raised them down yesterday. Firefighters from the Makola and Circle stations face challenges due to the market's congestion and the lack of functional fire hydrants, which made refilling water supplies difficult. Despite these obstacles, the team managed to contain the fire and prevent it from spreading any further. 12 hours on, affected individuals are fast at work. And Yanam Haliga came through with this report minutes ago.
After fire rage, part of Bolatop, which is a part of the Agbobushi market, currently some residents are attempting to salvage their properties. Most of these structures, predominantly built with highly flammable materials, offered little to no resistance to the raging flames. Well, as of now, there's no clear indication as to what caused the fire. For some, these residents and the entire livelihoods have been wiped out, and they are now hoping government's assistance to help them recover and rebuild their properties. Well, already we've seen some building materials, as it indicates that they may be starting to put up some structures.
Before you be huna ejanukra fire ni yenimani nyina ntimi mbe ejanaso so tiede yantimi yibibi ntimi yihwi nyema na yi enua na egu
na ejane na wenfa
ejane shina yede ye wensa ti bebi a start free no pukura omo alert enten nti esisa na omo so strike say ombetima ayeden ombetima adu nti before ye be hu konfone ebe twum na omo ka kire say eje hie before be pie na eje na adu awu mini ade bia meye bibia na biye susu ha nyina omo ni savings place before na me.
Well, then Yanam Haliga with that report.
Yeah, it's interesting that barely 24 hours, the individuals are back already, putting things together, wanting to rebuild.
What could they be doing other than that?
Yeah, but let's scan, not scan, but follow quickly this handle on Instagram, 3news.gh. What? It's 12 days to the December 7 general elections. We are your election command center, and this page is one of the many you should be following if you want exclusive details as they come through here from your election command center. It's 3news.gh on Instagram. Do well to be a part and follow. That's our bulletin for you today at the start of a new week, and really we're entering the home stretch regions for the elections.
Yeah. And be sure that your election command center will bring you all that you need to know here on TV3, 3FM 92.7, and all our sister stations.
I'm Awena Igbeta.
And I am Kemeni Amano. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Bye-bye.